Maribel, and I will talk about waste management and incontinence products in the developing world, especially in Mexico City. So, yeah, this is the outline of my presentation today. I will try to do it very fast because there is a very little time. So here I go. This is Mexico, and we have to the north our neighbor, the United States of America, and to the southeast, Guatemala and Belize. Mexico is a very big country. We have almost 2 million square kilometers of territorial extension and 130 million people living in the country. And GDP is about $18,000 per capita. So sorry, I put the information in dollars. This is the main stages of waste management in Mexico. As you can see, it's very basic, very linear, no circularity here. So there are some interesting data. Every Mexican produces about a kilogram of municipal solid waste per day, of which 6.75% is diapers. We don't have any information about any other type of absorbent hygiene products, including incontinence products. And most of the collection is carried out in mixed collection. There is no separation in households, even though we have law saying that it's compulsory, it's not carried out in real life. So most of the waste goes to final disposal. Official statistics say that it goes to landfills, but I know that most of it goes to dump sites instead. There is valorization going on, but it's very limited. Most of it goes to recycling and composting. We don't know exactly how much because most of it recycling is carried out through waste pickers. So it is very difficult to quantify. We have composting plants in the country, but they are not used a lot. They have many difficulties operating because there is not enough water or people to take care of the process. Baby diapers and incontinence products, some of them are can be considered as absorbent hygiene products. They have some similarities, some of them, but there is very few information about incontinence products, and most of the information regarding environmental impact is done on diapers for babies. So the information that I will present to you is mostly about diapers for babies, but we can translate or we can use that information as a guide to incontinence products. So there is a tool that is called life cycle assessment, which is basically a balance of matter and energy that is done in any product or service. And it takes into consideration of the life stages of a product or a service. So we have to account all the matter and energy going into the process and all the matter and energy going out of the process. There is few studies about environmental impact using these tools of incontinence products, but we have some remarks. So most people think that most environmental impact is due to end of life, but that is not necessarily true. End of life contributes to greenhouse gases, but that is because most of the studies that have been done are done considering end of life options like landfill, dump site, or waste to energy. But most of the studies have found that environmental impacts are associated to raw materials. So what is needed is to continue research into new products and reducing weight of incontinence products and other products of this type. And also, as has been said, there is a lot of opportunity in reducing environmental impact during the use stage. For instance, changing the products as frequently as necessarily, but not more frequently than is necessary, like on the schedule, you know, and also selecting the appropriate product for every patient. These are some of the options of waste management that are for this type of waste. Most of them are carried out in some extent in some developed countries, but in developing countries, the option for waste management is basically final disposal. Recycling has a lot of benefits. We can reuse the content, the materials on the products like cellulose or thermoplastics, but it has a lot of challenges. Due to the nature of these wastes, its mixed composition, it's very difficult to separate the materials, but it can be done. It's a waste that is difficult to treat because of the pathogen content. And for recycling to take place, we need separated collection, which in developing countries is not always possible. So this separated collection makes very expensive the procedure and the cost of collection, and is not always viable economically. The most popular biodegradable option is composting, but it's not the only one. There are another options, and it has the benefit of recycling the nutrients of the materials and other products that are incontinence products. But there is a lot of challenges too. For instance, the amount of diapers that you can put in a pile of compost is limited. It's about 3%, so it's not a lot. And skincare products can have an effect on the quality of the compost. And also, a separated collection is needed to put the products in the compost. Waste to energy process has some advantages. It has a good control of pathogens and produces energy, but this technology is not very well accepted in many countries. And in developing countries, regulations can be a problem, and in terms of contamination or pollution, because they are not always followed. This type of technology requires qualified personnel, and also it is very, very expensive. So in most developing countries, the option is landfill or dump sites mainly. Like in Mexico's case, you know, the statistics says that we have a lot of landfills, but it's not true. We have mainly dump sites. So this is a very high problem because pollution will occur. So what can be done? There is a lot of options in terms of policy tools, like extended product responsibility. That is a tool that allows industry, users, and government to take care of very problematic waste, such as high-end products. And we can also have bans, for instance, banning landfill biodegradable waste is an option that is carried out mostly in Europe. So if you want to place a biodegradable waste in a landfill, you have to pay a very high tax, so you have to avoid it. And we can also have eco labels that promote for the people to choose products that has a low environmental impact. But there is a lot of products that only say, you know, I am environmental friendly, but it's not true because they have no information supporting these claims. So waste management of this type of products in Mexico City and some developing countries is basically dump sites or landfills, which is not okay, you know? So what can we say? We need to take into consideration the whole life cycle of these products and not focus only on the end of life stages. Most environmental impact of these materials is associated with raw materials. So there is a lot of need for research and innovation, how to reduce waste of this type of products, and also how to create new products that has into consideration the needs of people that will use them. Also, of course, clean production and redesigning of products, both the ones that are single use and reusable. And there is a lot of opportunities to reduce environmental impact at the use stage, selecting the appropriate product and changing it only as frequently as necessary, not on a schedule. And of course, using policy tools to create change in the way this waste is treated. So many thanks for your attention. Here is my name and my email if you want to contact me later on.
Thanks so much, Maribel.